Hey everyone, Scorpius here, and once again, GGG is cooking. So obviously we've got an update right here, which we simplified through the patch notes, and this is patch 0.2.0H, and there's massive improvements. So without any further ado, let's just dive in and see what they're actually cooking for this week. So first things first, strong boxes and essences are getting a quick use button. I'm gonna share the screenshot that they published on the screen right now so you see what this means, but the important thing to know is that you definitely need to have the currency in your inventory so you can have these quick use buttons showing whenever you're doing strong boxes and essences. For strong boxes, it's dynamic based on the actual strong box, so currencies that you're going to see are things like scrolls, transmutation, augmentation, alchemy, exalted, and regal. They said that they didn't put divine there for obvious reasons, so you don't misclick it by any chance. And lastly, essences will only have one button, which is the Val Orb, so do make sure that you have a couple of these currencies in general in your bags whenever you're running strong boxes and essences. Next, we've got the breach mechanic has been officially improved. They did a couple of tweaks here and there, improving the speed, so they got it from 12 seconds now to 20 seconds, so we're gonna have more time doing the breaches. Then we've got improvement on how the monsters spawn. This is an issue because before we had the stairs and everything, monster will spawn on the stairs, so it would be very tight for you to go through and it wouldn't be a good experience, so they're fixing that as well. Killing magic and rare monsters will now extend the time even more than killing normal ones, which is really good. But the biggest change and the highlight of this entire patch, in my personal opinion, is that the splinters will no longer drop whenever you're killing stuff. All of the splinters are now going to be vacuumed and they're going to be dropped whenever the breach ends on your player location. How awesome is that? So we're going to get one massive stack of 100 and something, 50 something, depending on how well you did with the breach at the end of the actual mechanic. If you're in group play, there's going to be multiple different stacks assigned accordingly. Next, we've got the wisps, who are getting a small and significant improvement here. So whenever we were triggering a second wisp at the same time while we were chasing the first one, they would go in separate direction, causing us to lose one of the two. Well, now they fixed that. If you encounter a second wisp while you're following the first one, the second one is going to come and pursue the exact same rare. And lastly, on the wisps, the spirit of the spring hare and the spirit of the fox will now be 3 times more common to find. These are some of the best spirits in the game, so it's really cool to be able to find them more. Next, we've got Rogue Exile's visibility improved. First of all, they're adding minimap icons whenever you engage with them so you can see where they are. Then the light that surrounds the actual Rogue Exiles is going to be much brighter so you can be able to see where they are. And lastly, the aggro range of the Rogue Exile has been minimized, so whenever you see the health bar from now on, you know that it's very close to you. Because before, their aggro range was insanely far, so even though you would see the health bar, you had no idea where the Rogue Exile is. Next, we've got some cool shrine improvements. Greed and Corruption Shrine have been disabled from the game. For anybody who doesn't know what they are, these are the ones that have negative impact on you. We don't want any negative shrines going on in the game, so they're disabling the two. Then we've got the Diamond and Divine Shrine, which are some of the best and rarest shrines in the game, and now they're going to be even more common to find. Then the duration of almost all shrines has been extended, so you're going to have that buff for a little bit longer. I think they increased it by like 20 or 30 seconds, which is really good. Next, Perfect Jeweler's Orb and level 20 gems are now much more common. Great change, good stuff. Obviously, it's going to lower the value of both of these things, but oh well, whatever. We need the Perfect Jeweler's Orbs and the level 20 gems, and we're going to have even more fun now. Next, we've got new stash tabs. Ritual stash tab, which is going to contain the omens and the audience with the king fragments. Socketable stash tab for runes, talismans, and soul cores. And the best thing about the socketable stash tab is that you will be able to upgrade your runes within the stash tab without using the reforging bench. Very cool stuff. Obviously, both of these are going to be available as microtransactions through the store for you to buy whenever this patch goes live. And then we've got some generic changes, pretty cool stuff. The corridor skill of the Arbiter is now more visible, so this is going to make it a little bit easier to be able to dodge it. Then they enabled some key bindings that you can apparently allocate attribute notes on your passive tree a lot faster. Then the charms can now be stored in flask affinity sets or the flask stash. Then we've got the quick travel button to the town added to the waypoint screen, which is very convenient. Then one of my favorite quality of life changes in this patch is the control right click. The bulk movement of the currency. I don't know if you guys know, but if you go to the currency exchange and you exchange, let's say, one divine for like 250 exalted, instead of just dragging them or whatever, you can hold on to control and then right click the exalted, and it's going to give you the entire 200 into your inventory. Well, that exact thing, they're doing it globally in the entire game, which means that if you go to your stash and you want to take out all of your divines, let's say you've got 100 divines, let's assume that you're rich, and you want to get all of them, you don't need to control left click to get all 100. You can control right click and all 100 is going to go to your inventory. Pretty cool stuff for quick speed and doing stuff, you know, quality of life. I really like that. And lastly, unidentified items can now be properly filtered by item tier for anybody who's customizing their own loot filters. So these are all of the changes coming this week, depending on when you watch this video. But this week means between the 12th to 16th of May. So let's just hope it's going to be sooner rather than later. They said end of the week, so I'm assuming Thursday or Friday. Let me know what you guys think about all of these changes. I think once again is another step to the right direction. GGG's cooking. It's small changes here and there, but it's better to get small changes consistently rather than one big patch that won't be that satisfying or disappointing and then waiting for another month or so. I really prefer these smaller, bigger impact patches that they're doing. Let me know your opinion. Obviously, like and subscribe if you enjoy these updates, and I'm gonna see you guys on the next one. Peace.